to another episode of Chair to Face Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, with the mostest, Chrissy and Chris. We got a lot of stuff to dive into. A lot of crap has been going on. Can I just say that our truth being gone,
I am shocked.
really just all of us are about to riot,
That's
just
where we're going to start.
in the
Golly.
feels. I have been just ripping band-aids off left and right lately.
That's a
It has been
bomb.
Shut the bomb, can't continue.
Yeah.
save the tissues, I have to rip the band-aids off just right away. Just, you know, I have a lot of feelings about what's been going on recently with wrestling and especially Monday night's episode of Raw. Your girl is pissed.
Angry.
Well, so what do you think about R-Truth? I mean, what where are you on that?
So I am upset that they did my dude dirty. He has been wrestling with the company for so long. He's 54 years old. He moves around that ring like a new guy straight out of NXT, and you guys shaft him like that? Like, that's some fucking bullshit.
Watch with the language.
Pardon my language. Like, I'm probably going to get censored after just a few seconds and I'm dropping the F-bomb, but this is my stance on it. And I had people blowing up my phone with the rumor mill of R-Truth. There's a rumor mill about Gunther. There's a rumor mill right now about The Miz. And here's my stance on it. And of course, somebody did say something about Paul Levesque and that this is his fault. No, it's not Paul Levesque's fault. It's the fact that we have moved to TKO and it has become a corporate power hold. Like, I'm pissed off that it's become a suits business when in reality, it shouldn't be that way. Like, fans shouldn't have to spend $5+ grand to go to fucking WrestleMania. So, I know that's way off to where we were with the R-Truth thing, but all my feelings from that tie into the R-Truth thing because he deserved better. That's my stance. So, take that information how you would like it.
No, look, there's okay. There's that side of it, which is totally and fully understandable and valid. Okay. But at the end of the day, it is a business. These guys and girls know that at any point they can be released from their contract. Especially when you're in the position that R-Truth was in. Last year of his contract, he's 54. He's aging. I know it doesn't look like it, but he's aging. A decision needed to be made. Okay. Am I in full agreement with the decision that was made? No, but what I'll say about the whole deal is R-Truth, his last match was against John Cena. Main eventing a PLE. R-Truth has idolized John Cena from day one. If R-Truth's going to go out, not too many better ways of going out than having your last match be against the guy that you've looked up to. Like, there are guys and girls that would kill to have that kind of an ending to their career. It's kind of like the Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair thing. Like, people were pissed off when, of course, this is at a different magnitude, obviously, but people were pissed off that Shawn retired Ric Flair. And I'm sitting here going, dude, Ric Flair asked for it. Like Ric Flair got to choose his opponent for his final match. at WrestleMania. He chose Shawn Michaels. He told Shawn Michaels the Monday before WrestleMania, I want HBK. I don't want this new guy. I want HBK. And HBK is what he got. R-Truth wanted John Cena. They put on a really good match for two guys that are 50 years old. Cena's 49, 48, 49. And they put on a really good match. That's like outside of going out like Edge did, retiring as the world heavyweight champion till he came back, obviously. Like, that's how you want to go. Was it sudden? Was it kind of out of nowhere? Was it out of left field? Yes. And I think that's a lot of the reason that the WWE universe feels the way they do. Because it was so out of nowhere and it was so unexpected. But truth of the matter is that it has always been, right or wrong, it's about drawing money. This business is about selling tickets, selling merch, drawing money. It has to have money to survive. That's why WCW didn't survive. That's why ECW didn't survive. That's why TNA has agreed to be bought out by WWE. It's the reason that so many other promotions fail is because they don't have the money. It has always been a suits business. I am in agreement with you on the fact that it is definitely more outward now, and it's a lot more obvious. And I think that's turning a lot of people off because of the whole TKO thing. But I just feel like for every side A, there's a side B. And it's like, what outweighs the other? I don't know. Because I like R-Truth, and the fan in me says, damn, really? You had to just pull the plug on him like that? But the other side of me that knows the business, that's been watching it for 30 years, says, well, yeah, that's kind of the way it works. Like, it sucks, but it's a business. And if WWE, truth be told, R-Truth was not in the ring a whole heck of a lot. R-Truth was more of a backstage. Every now and again, we'd see him and he'd make a funny comment or run a funny segment. But he's not one of your every week, every day main event players. And that's who the WWE needs to invest in. That's who they've always invested in. And that's what they have to do. Like, again, draw money. Like, and not that R-Truth didn't draw money. That's not what I'm saying. He did. And he's an all-time great, and he's a Hall of Famer as far as I'm concerned. But they obviously, the WWE didn't want to extend the contract because they knew they'd have to pay him. And a mid-50s guy that flies around the ring like R-Truth does, there's some risk involved in that. And so, what would they have to guarantee him? Like, there's so many layers, and I know I'm going on a tangent, but there's so many layers to this whole thing that we'll never know, and we'll never be able to unpack because we don't work at the headquarters in Stamford. I do want people to back off of Triple H. I am in 1,000% agreement with you on that because, yes, Triple H is the CCO and runs the day-to-day, but he's got a boss. And we don't know if Triple H made the decision to fire R-Truth. Nobody knows that. except the guys that were there.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So,
need y'all to back off of Paul Triple H Levesque,
like,
or we're gonna have to
throwing the
flex on y'all.
blame, throwing the blame on Triple H because he's the mouthpiece of the company, that's BS. Because you don't know if he made that decision or if he even knew about that decision, 10 minutes before it happened. I mean, there have been situations in the past where a decision was made by the board and it comes down, and the GM or the COO, whoever is in charge at the time, finds out about it, and then it happens. Like, there's no thinking time. There's no time for it to sink in. Like, that could have been one of these situations. We don't know. But throwing and heaping the blame on Triple H and saying Triple H needs to go and Triple H made this bad decision and he shouldn't have fired R-Truth. You don't know that Triple H fired R-Truth. And they didn't fire R-Truth.
They just didn't renew his contract.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
And so, look, too much unknown for we could sit here and speculate for 3 hours. It's not going to do anybody any good. R-Truth is a Hall of Famer. As far as I'm concerned, he's a Hall of Famer. Not a lot of people know, but R-Truth has been working for the WWE for a very, very long time. R-Truth was part of the Attitude Era as K-Quick. Okay, when he was in his 20s, he was known as
I think I remember K Quick.
That's Ron Killings, R-Truth. And then he went to TNA and had the Ron the Truth Killings gimmick, and then he came back to WWE as R-Truth, and he's been with the company since. Man's a Hall of Famer. Man's a multiple-time champion. He's held the 24/7 title like 56 times or something stupid like that. He's main evented PLEs. He just main evented a PLE. He had a really, really, really cool rivalry with John Cena in like 2011 with the little Jimmy thing where he changed his theme song and there was no singing and all it was the truth has set me free. And he'd come out like, like crazy eyes. And yeah, I love R-Truth.
Me too.
And the awesome truth with the Miz. I mean, the Miz posted a really, really beautiful tribute to R-Truth on Twitter or X or Instagram, whatever it was. Really, really nice tribute from the Miz, who is also, from what I understand, a candidate for this contract renewal kind of whatever it is. Anyway, I just think that there's a business side to it, and the fan in me says damn, but there's the other half of me that goes, well, kind of seen this before.
Yeah.
Sucks. Don't get me wrong, it sucks. But again, I mean, who are you going to invest in? R-Truth or Gunther?
Yeah.
At this point, it's Gunther. If that's what it came down to, then they made the right decision. I mean, shit. What would you do?
Look, I'm just gonna need all these rumor mills to like chill the damn out,
Agreed.
But that's it for that. Just had to get the feelings and emotions out quick, because there's just so much there's a lot of emotions, especially going into Monday Night Raw. The beginning of the end of Judgment Day, and it started with a little tiny woman named Roxanne Perez and some chicken tendies.
You homewrecker!
Oh God, and that Money in the Bank qualifying match. Every qualifying match so far has been amazing. So I'm going to go over it quickly. We have Money in the Bank on Saturday, which, if you're not familiar, Money in the Bank is the
awesome PLE, man. It's
awesome. And
I can't wait.
Literally gives you the opportunity to have a briefcase with a contract, and you are entitled to a title match anytime, any place, anywhere. Doesn't matter when, where, or how. You can cash that in. We have seen Seth Rollins cash in. We've seen CM Punk cash in. We've seen John Cena. Has John Cena cashed in?
Edge.
Nope. Edge has cashed in,
Edge,
which very
infamously,
memorable.
Edge,
Yes.
infamously cashed in on John Cena at New
Uh,
Year's Revolution. I'll never forget that after an Elimination Chamber match.
we saw
I'll never
Damian
forget
Priest
that.
cash in
Priest
on
did.
Drew
Yep.
McIntyre at
Yep.
WrestleMania. And then,
Daniel
of course,
Bryan.
Daniel Bryan. And now we have the women's matches.
Yep.
You know,
Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffy time cashed
Yep.
in. And it doesn't matter where, when, or how. You're entitled to that for a whole year. So you get that money in the bank and you're entitled to it for an entire year. And yes, this is a trigger pin and I've had it since I was in like the third grade. Anyway,
Dolph Ziggler
Dolph Ziggler too.
had a really infamous cash in as well.
So for the Money in the Bank ladder matches, I'm going to go for the men and then to the women. For the men's match, we have Solo Sikoa, we have LA Knight, we have Penta, Seth freaking Rollins, Andrade.
Here we go.
Angry!
That
Here we go.
mother. Woo!
She's upset because her man got screwed on Monday night.
Yeah, why are we screwing over the best in the world for this?
We were wrong. Yeah, we were wrong.
Oh.
Fucking Chad Gable, El Grande Americano. So my friend sent me this video, well, this picture image from TikTok saying that CM Punk lost to a Starbucks drink. The El Grande Americano.
El Grande Americana, that's good.
Pepe Sylvia, this name keeps coming up over and over again.
Which, if you zoom in on his boots, you have a CG on there. And no, it is not Chelsea Green, even though I think she could pull it off, but it is not my girl Chelsea Green. It's that
Chelsea Green.
damn freaking, I'm over it.
It's Chad, everybody.
Look, let me just now that I'm angry, let me just get it out. Let's just get it out. Okay, I cursed at my TV for 15 minutes on Monday night. My husband had to come in and check on me and make sure that he didn't have to perform CPR on me and resuscitate me due to a heart attack. I was livid. Let's give El Grande Americano two ladder match qualifiers. Are you shitting me? But no, let's not give it to CM Punk. But you know what? I think there's a plan.
There are
think there's
bigger
a plan.
fish to fry for
I think there's
CM
a plan.
Punk.
You know, my man is going to get involved in that. It's
There
going to be
are
great. My
bigger
dude,
fish to fry.
that's my homie. He's going to get involved. Anyway, I'm over this El Grande Americano. Let's cheat with the damn metal plate in my forehead, huh?
If you think that CM Punk is going to let Seth Rollins win that Money in the Bank ladder match, you've lost your mind.
Absolutely
Have you lost your mind?
not.
And
Absolutely
that's the
not.
whole plan.
Not for the Second City Saint. But you know what? If El Grande fucking Americana wins Saturday night, I am going to burn down the entire world.
Burn it! Burn it down!
I think we may see a surprise. I think we may see a surprise.
I'm calling a Roman Reigns return. Someone's sabotaging Seth Rollins that night. We might see Penta win it. Anyway.
So I'll throw this out there just for prosperity's purposes because you did a good job of covering it. So I have no comments on it at all. Because I think there's a here we go again. I say this every time we do this show. You got to look past the match.
Yeah.
It's not the match. It's what's going to result from the match. And it's what's going to happen after the match or during the match.
Yeah. And there's no disqualifications, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I will say this for prosperity purposes. Roman Reigns, as you mentioned, has a little.
All right.
He's the man. He's the man.
You have to acknowledge him when you say his name.
Listen, I love that guy so much that I can't even talk about him because I'm going to start crying. Every time I talk about, I'll explain that later on. What was I saying?
We
Oh,
were talking about
Roman
matches
Reigns,
and Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns and Money in the Bank have a little bit of a history. Now, Roman, obviously, he's not won the match, but remember what happened the last time Roman Reigns was in a significant match at that PLE. He retained the title, and then, ironically, John Cena made his return. This is 2023, where the crowd went absolutely berserk, and Cena comes in the ring and basically just looks Roman Reigns up and down and says, well, here we go, son. That's the last time we saw Roman Reigns in a very meaningful match, that PLE. I have a feeling, just as you do, that either during the Money in the Bank match or during the tag team match, during the Breaker and Reed, I think at some point we're gonna see Roman get involved in something. I could envision Seth climbing the ladder and then Roman's music hitting. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I don't know exactly when or how, but I could see. I think Roman is. I think he's on the horizon. I'm with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Seth is not winning that belt.
I
And
don't think
then
so either.
for the ladies, we have Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, we have Julia, we have Naomi, and we have Stephanie Vacure.
Jesus, that's going to be a good match.
That is going to be one hell of a ladies match. I'm super pumped, super excited for Money in the Bank. I look forward to it every year because you literally could get a title at any point given time, whatever your little heart
You do it that
desires.
night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cash it in that night. Um, so
Who
the
are you
card
backing in that match?
in that match, it's it's hard. So I
Tell you
love
what,
Alexa Bliss.
I really liked what I saw from Stephanie Vaquer,
I
man.
love her. She does amazing in that ring.
Yeah,
That kiss to helm
yeah.
that she does, interesting. I've never seen that move before. Kind of explicit for young children to watch.
Cover your eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I like Rhea.
I love Rhea. Y'all know
I'm
that.
backing Rhea. I like the little outfit change we saw on Monday night. Rhea
Oh yeah.
rocking the bright red. That was
Mm-hmm.
different.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
Rhea can do it, baby.
She
Rhea
really
can do
can.
it.
I freaking
Jesus.
love her.
Yeah, I'm backing Rhea.
Um, I mean, Alexa Bliss, I do love Alexa. I've
Oh,
always
me
loved
too.
Alexa.
Me too.
You know,
So,
Ohio
totally,
native.
totally would not be upset if Alexa Bliss won.
No,
At all.
I'm not really all about Julia right now.
I,
Not
look,
terrible though.
no, I think
She
Julia has a
hasn't grown
bright
on me
future.
yet. She hasn't grown on me yet, but yes, she does have a bright future.
Yeah.
Naomi, I wouldn't be upset if Naomi won.
Yep.
Um,
It'd be a little bit of a surprise, but I mean, it would certainly. I just envision, like, can you imagine Rhea Ripley of all people in the women's division, the champions of the division looking over their shoulder, and Rhea Ripley is walking around with that freaking briefcase?
I'd give her the belt. I'd be like, all right,
Jesus, just surrender it.
just
You
here,
know?
here you go, mommy.
Yeah,
Here's the belt.
yeah. I got to back Rhea on that one.
I would just, if I'm in the match and she comes out with the briefcase, I'm like, look, just ring
It's
the bell
yep,
and just give her the belt. You know,
yep.
can you
Got
just
no
shake my
chance.
hand first? That's it. You
Got no
know,
chance.
I think it's going to be a
I
great
do too.
PLE. We saw the return of the golden child, the captain, oh my captain of Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. so happy. I was so happy.
Oh, I love that guy.
Oh my God, I was so happy when he came back. I was screaming at the TV. I'm like, yes, yes, that's fucking Cody Rhodes. Yeah, it was a whole thing. I'm excited for him to team up with Jay. They're great. I
Yep.
really, really hope that they do a conference with each other and they have a few libations in the back. You feel me? You feel me, Oos? Do you feel
Yep.
him, sir?
Yep.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great Saturday. I'm so excited. And with Monday Night Raw, obviously I ripped the Band-Aid with R-Truth. I went on a tangent about El Grande Americana, which I could go on a tangent about that mother trucker any time of the day, any time, any place, anywhere. I'm the 24/7 belt holder for that. Um, People send me memes about El Grande Americano now, so thanks. And then, of course, I've been calling it. I've been calling it. We are seeing the fall of the Judgment
Oh
Day. I
yeah.
hope
Oh,
everyone,
100%.
look, this little tiny Roxanne Perez is coming in and giving chicken tendies to Dominic Mysterio.
The scandal!
Mhm.
And of course, Finn Balor's just laughing in the background. This is so funny. I've seen this one before. Yeah, it's imploding on itself, and it's beautiful to watch.
Liv Morgan face turn, anyone?
I could be about it. She's perfect as a heel.
We have seen Dominic Mysterio turn on women.
Yep,
I recall not too
a
long
Rhea
ago.
Ripley turn.
I do recall not too long ago Dominic Mysterio turning on Rhea Ripley and making out with Liv Morgan.
Does Dom not know that
Uh,
there are sexually transmitted diseases out there and you don't know where that person's mouth has been?
Dirty hoe!
to be fair, I can't say I would pass up the opportunity to make out with Liv Morgan. To be fair, of course, I'd look over her shoulder and see Rhea Ripley in the ring and go, well, you
Let
know,
me wrap this up and get out of
yeah, yeah. So, point being, this is not about me. Point being, we've seen this before. Uh, Dominic, you know,
here. It's a
maybe,
little slutty
maybe,
for women.
yeah, maybe getting Roxanne disease and turning on Liv Morgan and Liv Morgan becoming a face. You know, look, I could see it.
We've seen crazier
Oh
happen.
God. Yeah.
And look, with the implosion of the Judgment Day, now we're seeing this Seth Rollins faction. Oh my God. Look, you have Braun Breaker, and now you have the Typhoon King, which I would leave the ring as soon as I saw him coming down that ramp. I pass go, collect $200. Nah, nah. I ain't getting typhooned.
Oh, I like the LA Knight. Nah,
Nah, nah.
I like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. That is a no from me, dog.
Yeah, Bronson's yeah.
That man is terrifying.
He's quite the specimen.
Oh my God. That is a lab experiment gone awry. That is
Yes.
what Dr. Frankenstein built in his lab,
Yep.
thinking it was a great idea. So now you have these two big powerhouses of men standing behind freaking Neo in his damn black leather jacket and leather pants trying to play the Matrix. And then you have Paul Heyman in the mix,
The Penguin.
the Penguin, and what about my men? Like Jay, Sammy, and CM Punk. I mean, they're good and they're legit. They don't have two big monsters,
Yeah,
but it's
it's
coming.
yeah. Listen. I,
Listen, Linda.
there's an old saying: "What goes around comes around." We remember last year that those three guys, the three guys you just mentioned, what did they do last year?
Survivor Series War
They
Games.
overcame
Mm-hmm.
their fears and they put their BS to the side and they teamed up with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns owes them. And Roman Reigns also owes Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins screwed him in the
Mm-hmm.
chamber. And Seth Rollins now has possession of something else that Roman Reigns coveted, and that's Paul Heyman. This whole thing, whether anybody at home, here we go, PSA time, whether anybody at home likes it or not, I don't care that John Cena is the WWE champion. I don't care that Jey Uso is the world champion. The needle mover in this business is Roman Reigns. This whole thing will all come back around and we end up where we started. Okay?
War
That's what
Games.
that's what happens in this business. It's a never-ending story. Roman Reigns owes those three guys for what they did at Survivor Series last November. That was already almost 8 months ago. He owes them. The deck is stacked. Roman Reigns is the antidote to the poison. Some way, somehow, at some point, I would be really surprised if on Saturday, to your point, we did not see His Highness.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Never ending story.
Right. That's right.
Look, Monday Night Raw was great. I cursed at my TV for about 15 minutes until I said, I had it. I'm going to bed. I'm
I tell
going to
you what,
bed.
I can't believe I haven't said this. I probably should have saved this before we got on the air, but I'm not digging the get up tonight. What up with the Cowboys sweater?
Dim boy.
Not digging that.
We them boys.
Anyway, move on. That's a different sport. Sorry. Yeah, not digging that. I'll be honest with you. Of
Look,
course, this is the equivalent of wearing a freaking New England Patriots shirt. So,
right. Oh, we don't talk about the Patriots. They're
yeah.
disgusting. If you're a
See.
Patriots fan, get out of the chat.
Lord. Anyway, different sport. Move on.
If you're a Browns fan, then you should be ashamed of yourself. Anyway, Friday Night SmackDown breakdown. Cody Rhodes came out. Jey Uso, they made a great promo.
Yeah,
John
they did.
Cena with Logan Paul came
Yeah.
out, which y'all already know that I hate him just as much as I hate El Grande Americana. Oh God, he's teaming up with John Cena's teaming up with Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, to each his own. Don't ship where you eat or eat where you ship, whatever the saying goes. I don't know what to tell you. So, man,
Hollywood Cena.
yeah,
That's what this is.
yeah.
It's Hollywood Cena.
Hollywood.
It's literally the amount of people that don't get it is
So sad.
it's laughable to me.
Look, if you
The
don't
amount of people that
understand,
don't get what's going on. And again, yes, I'm not a huge Logan Paul fan either. Okay, I'm with you on that. But it's so perfect for the
Yeah.
story that's being told.
Yeah.
It's literally perfect for the Cena story. I mean, the last person that we would think John Cena would associate with is a greedy, selfish, non WWE superstar that has done very, very little work. We know better than that because he puts in the work. He's done very little work in the business. He hadn't been here a very long time, and he's already in main events. So he hadn't had to climb the ladder and grab the brass ring, so to speak. That Cena's the complete opposite. Cena had to work, didn't come from money. I mean, they're polar opposites in every way. That's literally perfect for the storyline. That's what they want. That's it's Hollywood Cena. It's perfect.
Yeah. Like
And
it.
like it or not, Logan Paul puts on a great match.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but in the ring, man, he's great in the ring, dude. He really is.
Look, the hatred that I have for Logan Paul just on the basis that his face makes me want to knock him out. I do give him this. My big ass could not do half the things that that man
Nope,
can do in a ring.
nope.
You don't see me jumping on a top rope and doing somersaults and doing all these things because I'm not athletic.
He's an incredible athlete, man.
Good luck
He
getting me off the
really is.
couch. So I
He
give him
really is
that.
a great athlete.
I give him that, but he still makes me want to punch him in the face.
No, agreed.
You
But
know,
that's the whole point.
he does play a great heel. I'm sure he honestly is probably a great person in real life. I do not know the man. But he might be a really good person in real life, but still wouldn't knock him out.
He's a girl dad,
He is. He is.
and
He has a
so
beautiful child.
I can relate directly to him on that. So that I have it takes a very it takes a special person to be a girl dad. As you know, you had a pretty great dad. So it takes a special person to be a girl dad, and I have mad respect for him on that level. Um, but yeah, he's look, he's obnoxious and he's out there and he's outlandish and he's vocal and he's conceited and he's arrogant and he's a prick. That's the role he plays. I'm not saying
Right.
the role he's playing.
But he's a girl dad.
Again, the last person that we would associate John Cena to be a partner of. That's the point.
I bet they got together with each other. You know what would be fun?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what would be great?
Exactly.
Something no one would think
Yep.
of? Why
Yep.
don't I be your partner at
And
Money in the
they're
Bank?
right.
Yeah.
They're right.
I didn't see that coming
Exactly.
from a mile away.
Nobody did.
I am blind. I'm about as blind as, Ray Charles, you know, and Stevie Wonder. I don't have my glasses on tonight, so, you know, but I definitely did not see that coming. Just,
Nope.
so wrestling ceases to amaze me. I just
Yep. It's a roller coaster, man.
so much is happening with wrestling right now. So much. Going into Money in the Bank. The past week has been great with wrestling and storylines and so to speak. Um, yeah, man. I just can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, Money in the Bank is going to be good. It always is. It never, and that's why I'm excited for it to come to New Orleans. Money in the Bank. We talked about it on the last episode. It's one of those turning point events. Like I know it's early in the calendar
Hmm.
year for WWE, but it's one of those events because of the stipulation that you talked about.
Right?
You know, because of that briefcase that means so much. It's one of those turning point events in the year that you just never know. You never know who might show up or what might happen. or who might end up with the briefcase or when they cash it in or who they cash it in on. Like there's so much to it.
I mean,
So
shit, Drew won it, what, last year, cashed it in the same night and lost.
and lost it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you just have to perfectly pinpoint your moves strategically, mm, uh, military wise, so to speak,
Yeah.
tactical.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta just plan it out. You gotta
Yeah,
stealth it
that's why
out.
guys like Edge and Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, like those kinds of guys that is CM Punk that have a brain for the business that, there's been very few people to cash in and be unsuccessful.
Hmm.
So, it's pretty much it's as close to a guarantee as you're going to get. And so Money in the Bank is one of those events that it has there's a long lasting effect from it.
Look, I see the men's match being just like this. It's going to be a slobber knocker between all these men. Um, I honestly believe that we might find out who El Grande Americano is on Saturday night. Someone's going for that mask. Somebody.
Yep.
Anybody. Please.
Wouldn't be
For the love
surprised.
of God, I hope it's LA Knight. Yeah. He's got my vote for President of the United States. And I mean, the women's match is going to be the same. I think it's going to
Yeah,
be
it's going to
great.
be great. And then Cody and Jay. I mean that's just gonna
It's going to be
they're
a
they're
great
they're
match.
they're gonna kill it, man. Those four guys are just gonna absolutely kill it. And that's when you know that and all the it goes back to what we started the show with. All these people that are throwing out this BS toward Triple H. When we were kids, when we were growing up, do you remember because back then they were called pay-per-views. Do you remember a pay-per-view where the main event was a non-title match?
Back in
No.
my day, no.
No. Every single freaking main event ever of a pay-per-view was for the world title or the WWE title.
Yep.
Guess what? The main event at Money in the Bank is a freaking 2-on-2 tag team match that's non-title.
Yeah.
That's when you know that you're in a good position. All these people want to throw all this crap at Triple H. Dude, that match is going to be absolutely killer.
It's
It's
going
going
to
to be
be a
off the
banger.
charts, and nobody is going to give two shits about a belt.
No.
And that's the point. Here I go again. If you're focused on the belt, you're focused on the wrong thing. Watch the last two episodes of this show, and you'll understand what I'm talking about.
And look, if you haven't watched any of our episodes, you suck.
Well, that's one way of putting it.
I'm just kidding. We still love you, but you should probably watch some of our episodes because they're great. I'm not a bias here, but we put a lot of thought into these episodes, and you might
Yep.
just see me spaz out and forget what I was saying and look like I'm stroking out within 5 seconds. You know?
Especially if we bring up El Grande Americano.
God, I hate him so much. Look, if anyone sends me anything El Grande Americano, just know that you literally made my day. And that's sarcasm.
Did we have any questions submitted?
Questions. Shh. What was your favorite face turn? Was one that I had saw. I have been kind of high in a hiatus. I haven't really been checking
Face.
too much. Your favorite face turn, someone who turned from heel to face.
Yeah, face turn. Ooh,
I couldn't think of any.
face turn. Well,
Batista was a good one.
yeah. See, that's the one
That
that
was a good
that
one.
immediately.
And Randy Orton when he turned from
Yep.
Evolution
When he
to
spit in
Mhm.
Triple H's face. Yep.
Yeah, that was
So,
great.
so for me, face turns a lot of the times are not as obvious
No.
as a heel turn. A lot of face turn, like this, for example, when in 2001, throwing it way back here, 25 freaking years. 2001, when Triple H first tore his quad, and he was out for like that 8 months or whatever, and then he came back in Madison Square Garden and had that amazing entrance.
Oh,
Where,
yeah, that was
like,
amazing.
to me, that's a face turn. Like it wasn't at the expense of someone else. It was just, oh, he's been gone for this long. He comes back and he's really well received. And from then on, because of the reaction he got, he was a face. And up until that point, he was notoriously a heel. But just him coming back resulted in the crowd getting behind him and he became a face. And then he went on to win the Royal Rumble and then beat Jericho at Mania and all that. So, like, face turns are sometimes not as obvious to me.
They're very subtle.
Yeah. So, ooh. But the best face turn? Shoot.
It was a very good question.
The best face turn. It very well may be Batista.
That was my favorite because he went from
The whole
nah.
because his face changed and he
That
bombed
was
Triple H. That was that
that was awesome.
yeah.
That was beyond awesome. That
That was a good one.
that was a good one.
That would be at the
At the tippy top.
certainly in the top three. I'm having a little. That's a good question.
So, just to explain for any of our viewers who are not familiar with the term face and heel. So, your
Yeah.
face has always been known as the baby face. It's always been the good guy. It's always been the one that's been over with the crowd. You know, that's it's the one that kisses the babies and hugs the kids and signs everything like Cody Rhodes, right? And your heels are the ones that you absolutely cannot stand. They are the
Yep.
baddest of the bad, the worst of the worst. They make you want to question everything in life like Triple H. Triple H would come out with his sledgehammer and you knew it was business. My dad would get mad every single time. He's like, "Oh, here comes Triple H with that damn sledgehammer again. Oh, look, he hit him in the head. Oh, look, he's bleeding. Wow, typical." My dad was very sarcastic as a that's where I get it from. You have Gunther, who is a heel. You have Seth Rollins, who is a heel. You have Braun Breaker, who is a heel. You have Chelsea Green is technically a heel.
I'll give you a couple more that just manifested. And again, these are not well. One of them it is not as obvious that it's a face turn until you look at the bigger picture. Bret Hart and Steve Austin at was it Survivor Series? No, it was Mania. No, Survivor Series. When Bret has Austin in the sharpshooter
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Austin's bleeding
Mm-hmm.
and he passes out, but he refused to give up. Austin went into that match as a heel. He came out of it as a face because he never gave up. He refused to tap out. The referee, Earl Hebner, the referee called the match because he was bleeding and he passed out in the ring. So people took to that. And the most recent one that I can think of is Sami Zayn with the bloodline.
Oh yeah.
That was a good one. And then I think the
Jay.
probably number one, just for sentimental purposes, would have to be Randy Savage reuniting with Miss Elizabeth.
Oh yeah.
That was
Such a beautiful moment.
yeah, that's probably number one. That it, just out of respect for that moment, that's probably number one.
Oh yeah. That was a beautiful moment.
Yeah. But Batista's up there, Randy Orton's up there, Austin's up there.
Even the
Triple H
Usos.
returning to MSG. Yeah, the Usos had a good one too.
Yeah. Even the Usos. Man.
Jay. So when Jimmy got kicked from the bloodline
Mm-hmm.
and Jay was still on Roman's side, and I saw this clip earlier, that's why it just came to me. And Jay said, or he got real hyped up, and he was like, he went up to Jimmy, he's like, "You out,
And I'm out too.
and I'm out too." Boom, and kicks
Boom.
Roman in the face.
That
A
was
good one.
classic. And
That's
then
a
I
good
went
one.
to that Friday Night SmackDown when the Usos had flipped after they
Yeah,
had done that. I was at that Friday Night SmackDown. That was a
there you
great
go.
promo, by the way.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
husband's first wrestling match.
yeah.
That was great.
That's a good question, man.
Yeah,
That's a really good one.
that was from Lone Wolf 0619, which I remember that tagline because he comments on a lot of our stuff.
Yeah, he does.
But I haven't gotten any other questions. I've been kind of in a hiatus, and I suck at that. I'm sorry, but I did go back and check some things, and that was a question that I saw, so I did remember that. Proud of
Cool.
myself.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Man, well, shoot. If we don't have anything else to cover, why don't we run into Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, so a little bit of a change in Mount Rushmore.
Not physically
Um,
run into it because that's gonna hurt, but you know.
from now on, I am in charge of choosing these topics. Um, by my last count, I have 79 of them, and
But
I am currently still, as I think of it, in my little folder here, as I think of them, I jot them down. So I'm just gonna pick one here.
golf golf applause. Golf applause.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Well, let's oh, there's so many good ones. Um Screw it. Top 4 women's wrestlers of all time.
Oh man.
Yeah, that I knew that one would kind of hit home a little bit.
Look, look.
I'm putting you under pressure now.
I gotta choose 4. Damn.
Not
All right,
Rushmore.
let's do it. All right. So, kicking it old school. First runner up, Lita. Y'all know how I feel about Lita, the tomboy woman that kicked everybody's asses, not just the women, but the men too. She made me feel confident as a young girl growing up as a tomboy and wanting to go and play football and tackle football at that with the neighborhood guys, and also to wrestle and play the WWF volume whatever music, and I always went out to some kind of song. She's on my top. She is on my top, and she's so sweet. She is a wonderful person in real life. I met her twice, once at 9 years old, and another time a few years back. She was at a Comic-Con. Such a sweetie. Trish Stratus is another one of mine. Absolutely love Trish. She has always been a powerhouse. Such a tough woman. Beauty. Absolutely drop dead gorgeous, but could lay you out in the ring. Rhea Ripley is up
I
there.
I should have quantified. I should have quantified this.
Uh-huh.
Top 4 women in wrestling.
In wrestling.
They don't necessarily have to be like wrestlers,
Uh-huh.
but like your top 4 women in wrestling. Anyway, go
Oh, Lillian Garcia.
on. Ooh, see, that's a good one.
Again, met her when I was 9 years
Ooh,
old. She is amazing, has such a beautiful voice.
what a talent.
She's
Good
one of
grief.
my favorites when she announces.
Oh, she's the best ring announcer
She
ever.
is the GOAT. If you grew up in the late 90s and early 2000s, you listened to
One
Lillian
of
Commentate.
Every time, God, I hate doing this because we're talking such good about her. Every time I think of Lillian Garcia, I always think of Chris Jericho and how he used to call her Vivian. Because Lillian, before she was a ring announcer, she would interview backstage.
Hmm.
And every single time she interviewed Chris Jericho backstage, she would ask him a question, and Chris Jericho would go, "Listen up, Vivian." just, I'm sorry. Jericho is just Jericho.
I love
Anyway,
him.
I love Lillian.
Look, I think of the time that she called down Triple H, and this was after he lost the
The
belt.
former world
The
champion.
former world heavyweight champion, Triple H, and he's like,
He
she just
and
ran.
Lillian jumped the barricade. That shit was hilarious, dude. Oh man. He and I love she put such emphasis on the word former. He
Former
is the former world
world
heavyweight.
heavyweight champion.
And Triple H goes, "You motherfucker." And he runs down to the ring.
This bitch
I love it.
just called me a former world champ. Give
I love
Lillian
it.
a break, okay? She's just doing her job.
I love it.
And God, another woman, Miss Elizabeth,
Yeah.
one of the one of my all-time favorite. They called them valets. Women
Yep.
that would walk out with the men were called valets.
Yep. Women
Um,
managers,
yep.
ballet. Yep.
I absolutely love Miss Elizabeth. She was so beautiful.
Yeah.
She was a great ballet. Look, and I know it's four people, but Rhea Ripley's at the top of my list too.
Mm.
She's the reason that I've gotten honestly back into wrestling besides Becky Lynch because
Yep.
Rhea is a powerhouse. And if you talk schmuck about Rhea Ripley in the chats, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, that's a tough five to beat.
Yeah. I know we do
We
four,
we
but
we are. I'm cool with a starting five. When it comes to it's hard,
it
man,
is.
because it almost depends on what you prioritize. Because and I'm going to give you mine. I'll give you four and then and then a backup. But like I'm leaving names off, like Sable.
Oh yeah.
Listen, Sable was the first one to do the whole I'm a bombshell, but I can also wrestle kind of thing. And like the risque promos, there's an infamous clip that all the boys, the young teenagers, are going to go watch now. Thanks a lot, Chris. Good influence.
Yeah, great
She's
job.
running she's running this promo in like 1996 or 1997 or something, and she takes her top off, and there are her,
Puppies!
tatas, and yeah, puppies. There you
The
go. Jared
puppies! The
Lawler.
puppies are out!
And the only thing on them is two black Playboy bunnies.
Oh God, I
Because
think
she
I
was on the
remember
cover of
that.
Playboy. But in all seriousness, I mean, she would powerbomb men. Like she was the first one to combine that. Damn, this woman is really, really hot and really gorgeous, but man, she's like super tough. Because like the women wrestlers that came before that, like the Wendy Richters and the Alundra Blazes, and I'm leaving those off. And then like Mae Young and the Fabulous Moolah, like I'm leaving them off the list, and that's kind of disrespectful, but I am.
They're in a
So
class of their own.
we are lockstep, you and I, with both Trish Stratus and Lita. To me, that's the greatest rivalry between two women in the history of wrestling.
Hmm.
It is one of the greatest matches that I have ever seen is when those two ladies main evented Raw. 2006 maybe 2005 2006 somewhere in there, when Lita infamously dives through the ropes and comes down on her head, and you thought she broke her neck again.
Yeah, this
Somehow
is
she didn't.
she came back from her neck injury and had that
Yeah.
match with Trish and won the
And
belt.
that was for the women's title, and Lita won. Dude, that match, oh my, that was a 30-minute match. Women didn't do that. They did not do that. I need the viewers to understand how crazy that was for back then, because there was no women's Money in the Bank match. There was no women's Royal Rumble. There was nothing.
No
They
women's
were,
war games.
they were divas.
Yeah.
They weren't even women. They were divas. So for those two ladies to go out and do what they did on that night, listen, though we're in lockstep with those two, okay? Out of pure respect, I have to put China on the list.
Oh, I didn't even think about her, but I love her.
The reason that Beth Phoenix exists is because of China. The reason, and this is a big statement, don't get offended, but the reason that Rhea Ripley exists is because of China.
Well, she had an outfit that was made to look just like China's. So,
China, to me, is the greatest trailblazer, maybe in the history of wrestling. China did things that women didn't even think of doing. First of all, there's the DX thing. Okay. China was a big, major part of D-Generation X. And the women's championship, but the Intercontinental Championship. This women's Intercontinental thing that Lyra Valkyria has right now, which love her, but China held the men's Intercontinental title in 2000, where it was largely male dominated, like largely male dominated. China was the Intercontinental Champion. China competed in the Royal Rumble. Like before anybody else did that, she did that in a time where women did not. So, RIP to China. She's on my Rushmore. And here we go again. Out of pure respect, I don't see how you make a Mount Rushmore of women in wrestling, and this one might be number one. Stephanie McMahon.
oh yeah.
Listen, say what you want. That woman has a mind for the business that most would kill for. Yes, it's in her blood. Yes, she's been taught everything she knows by the GOAT of GOATs, okay? And her husband is who her husband is. But she was so well-rounded. She had the business side of it, but she was also Triple H's valet and manager. And she was also women's champion. And then she became the SmackDown general manager. And then she went into the corporate side. And then, like, she's done everything. Everything.
She started out
So,
modeling for the WWF like apparel, but she's
yep.
always wanted a part of the business. So just
So
to kind of add into that.
I don't see how you make a Mount Rushmore of women in wrestling without Stephanie McMahon. I can't do it. So that would be my four. Trish, Lita, China, and Steph. If I had to throw a fifth in my starting five, oh boy. Mm, Charlotte Flair.
Okay. Yeah. No, I see it.
The titles speak for themselves.
Woo!
You know, I love Becky and I love Rhea and Bailey and
Lyra's
like
really
like the
great.
like the
Yeah.
four horsewomen thing
Hmm.
and Sasha or Mercedes Monet, whatever you want to call her these days. Charlotte Flair is in a category by herself. Yeah, that would be my starting five, and that starting five is pretty damn hard to beat.
Yeah. It's a good list. Dude, and you have 79 Mount Rushmores that I'm looking
78,
forward to. 78 now. I'm
78.
looking forward to 78 Rushmores. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that wraps it up here with your friends at Chair to Face Wrestling Podcast. Also, disclaimer, do not hit friends or family in faces with chairs. If your enemy needs a chair to the face, maybe it's warranted. But also remember, we are not liable for any damage to property or faces
We
on this
ain't paying for
podcast.
nothing.
We's broke. I super broke. Ain't got the money. Not in this economy. All
Enjoy
right.
Money in the Bank, people. Don't
Yes.
miss that, man. It is going to
Yes.
be so good.
Yes. Hold your loved ones tight Saturday night because El Grande Americana might actually be unmasked. And I'm living it. Living for it. Living the dream. Living the American dream. It's going to be great. Can't wait. Can't wait for Monday night. You know, after PLEs, Monday night is what you want to watch.
Yeah,
Because back in our day, they were called pay-per-views and they came on Sundays and you had to pay
that's right.
$60 for your pay-per-view.
That's
Thank
right.
you, Time Warner Cable, for that. And especially if it didn't start on time, your dad got really mad. Why
Yeah,
isn't our pay-per-view
and the next
starting?
day was a school day.
And you
It
had
was
to
school
go
day,
to
so
school
yeah.
after
Mhm.
staying up late watching pay-per-view, especially WrestleMania. You knew the
Yeah.
wrestling fans at school because we were all sleeping in class. Wonderful.
WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble were always,
Like
and
a
SummerSlam.
yeah,
SummerSlam was another good one.
my mom would usually be in bed and dad, my brother and I would be up watching wrestling. She'd be like, "Now, Chris, make sure the kids go to bed on time." He's like, "Okay, now we're gonna finish this." So don't forget to
Cool
like,
dad.
subscribe. Dads are the best, okay? Dads are absolutely the best. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit people with faces to chairs. Hit people with chairs to the face. I am Chrissy, and that is Chris, and we hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful evening, weekend, night, whatever. Acknowledge the tribal chief.
Acknowledge him. He's coming.
He's coming for you, Seth. Good night, everybody.